So now we do our drone fly over the head of the bight, Great Australian Bight. So the facility you see there in the middle of that circle is the toilet block. Then you've got the information centre further on, and the cafe and the little shop, and then the walk down to the walkway or the platform to view the whales. It's just a spectacular part of the world. There's just so much of nothing out the back there. Even though there were whales there when we went there, just the facility is spectacular itself. So if it's off season of the whales, I would still pop in there and have a look. That just shows you how big and vast this beautiful country is. You get to meet some other travellers on the road, and this guy I remember further down the track, just looking at the footage now, he's travelling around with his family around Australia, and he's given himself 6 weeks to do it. So yeah, we came across him at a number of towns along the way. So I had a bit of time up my sleeve, so I decided to do a little bit of playing with the drone and capture some stuff, some footage of the van and van moving. So I set the drone on follow me, it loses signal, reset it, so then we get it set to follow us again. So that was head of the Bight, the Great Australian Bight, just near the Nullarbor Roadhouse. So we quickly learnt that head of the Bight is one of the viewing platforms, but there are so many places along the Great Australian Bight you can pull off like these and view the Great Australian Bight. even while you're driving, it looks like a whole lot of nothing around the area, but I never got bored with the driving and being able to view whether it's the change of the landscape or the Great Australian Bight. So there's so much to see, even though there's a whole lot of nothing out there. And there are so many other travellers out there on the road doing the same thing you're doing, looking at the beautiful, spectacular views, and then you catch up with them at night over a beer, coffee or a wine. And of course, road train after road train after road train after road train. So I see another one of these quarantine signs on the horizon. Decide to slow down. I don't like to brake heavy. I like to slow down, have a read of it, and yes, I've got to hand over all that beautiful fruit and vegetable again. So yeah, I just went across the South Australian, Western Australian border. I had to hand over all the fruit as I thought. It wasn't like the other border where I had to get rid of it before I got to the border station. I could hand it over. And my mate makes his own honey, and I even had to give that across too. So I never got to taste my mate's homegrown or homemade honey. The lady at the quarantine control was good. She said, well, why don't you go back to Bunda Cliffs and cook up all my fruit and vegetable. Once I got into Eucla, the decision to go back to Bunda Cliffs was an easy one to make, because Bunda Cliffs is absolutely beautiful place that you can stay right on the edge of the Great Australian Bight, where Eucla you were in a little town, dusty little town. So I ended up going back across the border. I should have taken her advice and gone back there, but I thought Eucla was better than I thought Eucla was a place that you needed to stay at, but it wasn't in the end. It was Bunda Cliffs. Yeah, so this is the quarantine station. When you're going back from Western Australia to South Australia, you don't even need to stop. Cameras all around, but yeah, so next time I'll know. So instead of staying in Eucla, we just come back over the border, and this is our campsite view. It's a free camp, but it is one of the most spectacular views we've had yet. So I decided to take the drone up for a fly. The water out there looked like a mill pond, but you know, it's fair distance from the van to where the edge of the water was, and you could hear the waves crashing. So yeah, it was quite deceptive, the size of the wave compared to how flat it looks. And it's also quite deceptive from what you're looking at here. We're actually staying right on the edge of the cliff. You can see it just a little bit to the right there, the cliff. And then there's a dirty big sand dune beach area down below it. So yeah, quite deceptive. So as I said earlier, I love to enjoy this, so I cracked open a cold beer after this fly and just sat there with Jack running around in the bushes, enjoying the view and the environment. As you can see, it's a fairly popular area, but everyone's got a view of this Great Australian Bight. So to show you where we're staying, just right there. Absolutely magnificent spot to stay. Yeah, I started to learn a little bit about myself. Normally I'm scared of heights, but it's not when I'm already at that height and I pull up somewhere or I go and walk out to it's alright. It's when I have to walk up a mountain or walk up a lookout, that's when I tend to get scared of heights. And I was hooked and liking at it. I can't get enough, can't be away. Here you get a little bit more of an idea of the cliff we were staying on. So the seat's set up, the beer's there, and now I go and enjoy this beautiful sunset. So the WA border took all my fruit and veg off me, so tonight it's mushrooms, steak, drowned in pepper and turmeric, a little bit of bacon. So yeah, so much for my stew tonight. So thanks for watching. I'll sit there and enjoy my beer and take some photos. See you next episode.